The story of ancient Egypt is one of the most remarkable in human history. It stretches across more than 3,000 years, from the earliest settlements along the Nile River to the fall of the last native pharaohs and the conquest by foreign empires. Its legacy of monumental architecture, complex religion, and enduring cultural influence makes it one of the most studied civilizations in the world. The birth of civilization along the Nile. The foundations of Egyptian civilization began to form around 6000 BCE, when small farming communities appeared along the fertile banks of the Nile. The annual flooding of the river deposited rich silt, making the land ideal for agriculture. People learned to irrigate and cultivate wheat, barley, and flax, supporting a growing population. Over time, these early villages developed into two distinct regions: Upper Egypt in the south and Lower Egypt in the north, near the Nile Delta. By around 3200 BCE, these regions had become organized kingdoms, each ruled by a local leader or king. The southern kingdom of Upper Egypt was symbolized by the white crown, while the northern kingdom of Lower Egypt bore the red crown. Around 3100 BCE, a powerful ruler named Narmer, also known as Menes, unified these two lands into a single kingdom. This unification marks the beginning of the early dynastic period and the first of Egypt's 31 dynasties. The early dynastic period, c. 3100–2686 BCE. During the early dynastic period, Egypt's central government took shape. The pharaoh became the supreme ruler, considered both a political leader and a divine representative of the gods on earth. The capital was established at Memphis, strategically located between Upper and Lower Egypt. Writing also emerged during this period in the form of hieroglyphs, allowing for the recording of events, religious texts, and administrative matters. The foundations of Egyptian religion, art, and architecture were set during these early centuries. The Old Kingdom, 2686–2181 BCE. The Old Kingdom is often called the Age of the Pyramids. It was a time of prosperity, centralized power, and monumental construction. Pharaohs such as Djoser, Sneferu, and Khufu oversaw the building of the first massive stone monuments in history. Djoser's step pyramid at Saqqara, designed by his architect Imhotep, was the first large-scale stone structure. Later, the Great Pyramids of Giza, built for Khufu, Khafre, and Menkaure, demonstrated the wealth and engineering skill of the Egyptian state. Egyptian society was highly organized. The pharaoh stood at the top, followed by nobles, priests, scribes, craftsmen, and farmers. Religion played a central role, focusing on the gods of nature and the afterlife, such as Ra, the sun god, and Osiris, the god of the dead. The Old Kingdom ended around 2181 BCE, when droughts, famine, and internal strife weakened central authority, leading to a period of chaos known as the First Intermediate Period. The First Intermediate Period, 2181–2055 BCE. During this time, Egypt was divided and ruled by rival dynasties in Heracleopolis, Lower Egypt, and Thebes, Upper Egypt. Local governors, called nomarchs, gained power as the central government collapsed. Despite instability, art and literature continued to develop, reflecting more personal and human themes. Around 2055 BCE, Theban rulers under Mentuhotep II reunited Egypt, bringing stability and founding the Middle Kingdom. The Middle Kingdom, 2055–1650 BCE. The Middle Kingdom marked a rebirth of Egyptian civilization. The capital moved to Thebes, and pharaohs re-established strong government control. Kings such as Amenemhat II and Senusret III expanded Egypt's borders and improved irrigation systems. Literature flourished, producing works like The Tale of Sinuhe and The Instructions of Amenemhat, which revealed the moral and political values of the time. Religion also evolved during this era. The god Amun rose in importance and was later combined with the sun, god Ra, to form Amun-Ra, the king of the gods. Egyptian art became more naturalistic, and tombs were decorated with scenes of daily life. However, near the end of the Middle Kingdom, foreign peoples known as the Hyksos began to settle in the delta, gradually gaining influence. The Second Intermediate Period, 1650–1550 BCE. The Hyksos, likely from Western Asia, introduced new technologies such as the horse-drawn chariot, bronze weapons, and the composite bow. They established their own dynasty in the northern city of Avaris, ruling Lower Egypt, while native Egyptian kings retained control of Thebes in the south. After nearly a century of division, the Theban rulers fought back. Ahmose-Barai, the founder of the 18th dynasty, eventually expelled the Hyksos and reunified the country around 1550 BCE. This victory ushered in Egypt's most glorious age, the New Kingdom. The New Kingdom, 1550-1070 BCE. The New Kingdom was Egypt's golden age of power, wealth, and empire. Pharaohs of the 18th, 19th, and 20th dynasties expanded Egypt's reach beyond its traditional borders, conquering lands in Nubia and the Levant. The capital was moved again to Thebes, and monumental temples were built to honor the gods. Ahmose I restored stability, and his successors, including Thutmose I, Thutmose III, and Hatshepsut, expanded Egypt's wealth and influence. Hatshepsut, one of the few female pharaohs, ruled successfully for 2 decades, promoting trade expeditions to places like Punt and constructing magnificent temples, including her mortuary temple at Deir el-Bahari. Under Thutmose III, Egypt became an empire stretching from the Euphrates River to the Fourth Cataract of the Nile. Amenhotep III presided over a period of prosperity and artistic splendor. His son, Amenhotep IV, later known as Akhenaten, attempted a radical religious reform by promoting the worship of a single god, the Aten, represented by the sun disk. He moved the capital to Amarna and suppressed the traditional priesthood of Amun. After his death, Egypt returned to its old religious practices. One of the most famous rulers of this era was Tutankhamun, Akhenaten's young successor. Though his reign was brief, his nearly intact tomb, discovered in 1922 by Howard Carter, provided an unparalleled glimpse into royal life and burial practices. Later, Seti III and his son Ramesses II, known as Ramesses the Great, led massive building projects and military campaigns, including the famous Battle of Kadesh against the Hittites. Ramesses II's reign epitomized Egyptian grandeur, and his temples at Abu Simbel remain some of the most impressive monuments of the ancient world. The New Kingdom eventually declined as internal corruption, weak rulers, and foreign invasions eroded its power. The empire's wealth drained, and Egypt entered another era of fragmentation known as the Third Intermediate Period. The Third Intermediate Period, 1076 and 64 BCE. This period saw the division of Egypt once again between northern and southern rulers. In Thebes, the high priests of Amun wielded great religious and political authority, while other dynasties ruled from Tanis and Bubastis in the Delta. Foreign powers, including the Libyans and Nubians, gained influence in Egyptian affairs. The 25th dynasty, founded by Nubian kings from Kush, briefly reunified Egypt and sought to revive the glory of the New Kingdom. The Nubian pharaoh Pa and his successor Taharqa ruled wisely, restoring temples and traditions, but they were eventually defeated by the rising power of Assyria. The Late Period, 664-332 BCE. Following the Assyrian invasion, Egypt entered the Late Period, characterized by both revival and decline. The 26th dynasty, based in Sais, restored Egyptian independence and stability for a time. Pharaohs such as Psamtik-Wi and Necho II strengthened the army, promoted trade, and encouraged the study of ancient traditions. However, Egypt faced growing pressure from foreign empires. In 525 BCE, the Persian king Cambyses II conquered Egypt, making it part of the Achaemenid Empire. The Persians ruled as the 27th dynasty, though Egyptian revolts occasionally restored brief periods of independence. The Ptolemaic and Roman periods, 332 BCE, 395 CE, in 332 BCE, Alexander the Great of Macedonia conquered Egypt without resistance. The people welcomed him as a liberator. He founded the city of Alexandria, which became a great center of learning and culture. After Alexander's death, his general Ptolemy Labaran established the Ptolemaic dynasty, blending Greek and Egyptian traditions. The Ptolemies ruled for nearly 3 centuries, overseeing both prosperity and political intrigue. The most famous of their line was Cleopatra VII, who sought to preserve Egypt's independence through alliances with Julius Caesar and Mark Antony. After her defeat by Octavian, later Augustus, in 30 BCE, Egypt became a province of the Roman Empire. Under Roman rule, Egypt remained an important source of grain for the empire. The ancient temples gradually declined as Christianity spread, and the old gods faded into memory. By the 4th century CE, the last hieroglyphic inscriptions were written, marking the true end of ancient Egyptian civilization. Legacy. Though the political power of ancient Egypt disappeared, its cultural and artistic legacy endured. Its achievements in architecture, writing, mathematics, medicine, and religion influenced the Mediterranean world and continue to fascinate humanity today. The pyramids of Giza, the temples of Karnak and Luxor, and the tombs of the Valley of the Kings stand as timeless monuments to a civilization that once defined greatness. From the unification of the Nile kingdoms to the rule of Cleopatra, the story of ancient Egypt spans more than 3 millennia of triumph, innovation, and transformation. It remains a testament to human creativity and endurance, the saga of a people who turned desert into empire and stone into eternity.